In 2018, a researcher at Cambridge University built a simple personality quiz. 270,000 people took it willingly. But through Facebook's data sharing architecture at the time, that quiz harvested data from 87 million profiles. People who never consented. People who never even heard of the quiz. The company that bought that data was called Cambridge Analytica. And they used it to build psychological profiles detailed enough to predict and influence how people vote. That wasn't a hack. That was your behavior, collected, analyzed, and weaponized. And it hasn't stopped. It's gotten more precise. This video is about 6 specific methods being used right now to profile your online behavior. Not by shadowy government agencies and spy thrillers. By corporations, data brokers, political campaigns, and advertisers. Operating legally. In plain sight. And the deeper you go into this, the harder it becomes to look away. First, what exactly is behavioral profiling? It's the process of collecting data points about what you do online. Then using statistical models and machine learning to infer who you are. What you fear. What you want. What you'll do next. The data itself is often mundane. How long you hover over an image before scrolling. Which words you type and then delete. What time of night you're most active. Individually, these signals mean almost nothing. Aggregated across millions of interactions, they build a psychological portrait more accurate than most personality tests. Let's break down how it happens. Method 1. Tracking pixels and third-party cookies. A tracking pixel is a one-by-one invisible image embedded in a web page or email. When it loads, it sends a signal back to a server. Your IP address. Your device. Your browser. Your location. The time. You never see it. You never agreed to it specifically. It's in the privacy policy you didn't read. Third-party cookies work similarly, small files stored in your browser that follow you across different websites. You read an article about anxiety medication on one site. 3 hours later, ads for therapy apps appear on a completely unrelated platform. That's not coincidence. That's a data trail being read in real time. The average web page loads 30 to 75 trackers simultaneously. Every page load is a data transaction you're not aware you're making. Method 2. Browser and device fingerprinting. This one survives cookie blockers. It survives incognito mode. Your browser leaks dozens of unique attributes every time it connects to a server. Screen resolution. Installed fonts. GPU rendering signature. Browser plugins. Time zone. Language settings. Individually, each attribute is common. Combined, they create a fingerprint unique enough to identify your device with over 99% accuracy, even if you've never logged into anything. A tool called Panopticlick, built by the Electronic Frontier Foundation, lets you test your own fingerprint. Most people who run it discover they are completely unique in the dataset. You don't need an account. You don't need cookies. You just need to open a browser. Method 3. Social graph mapping. It's not just about what you post. It's about who you know. Who you interact with. How often. In what context. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, every platform maps the relationships between users. Who you message first after a breakup. Who you never interact with publicly but view repeatedly. Who you tag, who tags you, who you mutually follow but never engage with. These patterns build an inferential map. They can predict relationship status changes before you announce them. Pregnancy. Job loss. Mental health deterioration. A 2014 study by Facebook's own data scientists showed they could detect depression in users based on behavioral patterns, weeks before the user sought help or told anyone. They didn't publish findings to help those users. They published a paper about it. Method 4. Sentiment and linguistic analysis. Every word you type online is a data point. The vocabulary you use signals your education level, emotional state, political alignment, and personality type. Natural language processing models scan public posts, comments, and even the metadata of private messages on some platforms. The Big Five personality model: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism, can be predicted from your writing patterns with startling accuracy. Cambridge Analytica's method, documented in court filings and whistleblower testimony from Christopher Wiley, used exactly this approach. High neuroticism score? Serve fear-based content. High openness score? Serve novelty and disruption narratives. The message isn't changed. The psychological angle of delivery is targeted not at your demographics, at your personality. Method 5. Location and behavioral pattern analysis. Your phone is a continuous location logger. Even with GPS off, your device triangulates position through Wi-Fi networks, Bluetooth signals, and cell tower data. Data brokers purchase this information from app developers, often apps you've used once and forgotten. A weather app, a flashlight app, a free game. Location data reveals your daily routine with forensic precision. Where you sleep, where you work, what medical facilities you visit, what places of worship, what political events. In 2020, a Vice investigation purchased location data for $1,000 from a broker called Babel Street. It showed the precise movements of U.S. military personnel at classified facilities. Legally purchased. Publicly available on the broker market. Your location history is a biography. And it's for sale. Method 6, Predictive Psychographic Modeling. This is where everything combines. Cookie data, fingerprints, social graphs, language analysis, location patterns. Feed all of it into a machine learning model trained on hundreds of millions of profiles. And you get something that stops being analytics. It starts being prediction. What you'll buy next week. How you'll vote in 6 months. Whether you're likely to leave your job, your partner, your religion. Whether you're susceptible to radicalization. Whether you're in financial distress. Whether you're pregnant, before you've told your family. Target's predictive model famously identified a teenager's pregnancy through purchasing pattern shifts and sent baby product coupons to her home. Her father found them before she told anyone. These systems don't need to know you. They need to know the statistical pattern that matches you. And that pattern is built from data you generated without thinking. So who actually buys and uses these profiles? Advertisers, obviously. But also insurance companies, adjusting premiums based on inferred lifestyle data. Employers, screening candidates through third-party social scoring services. Political campaigns, micro-targeting voters with messages calibrated to psychological weak points. Law enforcement agencies, purchasing location and behavioral data to bypass warrant requirements. And increasingly, foreign state actors, purchasing commercial data broker files on military personnel, government employees, and journalists. All of it legal. All of it happening right now. None of it requiring your explicit awareness. What can you actually do? Complete invisibility online isn't realistic for most people. But friction matters. Use a browser like Firefox with uBlock Origin and Privacy Badger installed. Use a VPN, not as a magic solution, but as one layer of separation. Test your fingerprint at coveryourtracks.f.org. Audit app permissions on your phone quarterly. Revoke location access from anything that doesn't need it. Assume every free app has a data monetization model. If you're not paying for the product, your behavioral data is the product. Be selective about what platforms you use for sensitive searches. Use search engines like Brave Search or DuckDuckGo for anything you wouldn't want profiled. None of this makes you invisible. But it raises the cost of profiling you. And in a system built for scale, being expensive to track has real value. You generate thousands of behavioral signals every day. Without noticing. Without consenting in any meaningful sense. And somewhere, right now, those signals are being aggregated. Scored. Modeled. Sold. Used to predict what you'll think next. What you'll fear next. What you'll buy next. The Cambridge Analytica scandal wasn't an anomaly. It was a glimpse into infrastructure that already existed. Infrastructure that has only grown more sophisticated since. Knowing it exists doesn't protect you completely. But it changes something fundamental. You stop being a passive data source. You start being someone who knows the game being played. And that awareness, even partial, is the beginning of something they can't easily model. PsychoVeil. The manual they never wanted you to have. Subscribe. Share this with someone still asleep. The next video goes somewhere even darker. You've been warned.